So, those. We putting on the Ridgecrest reunion.
Yeah.
We had been sitting around. What was a funeral or somebody? When somebody passed away. So somebody passed away, and from the neighborhood. So we all get together. We standing out, just talking. What happened here? What happened there? And it created a lot of closure. Just from our childhood years of just going through childhood things, right?
Yeah.
So we had one cat, Woo. Woo then was younger, but stayed in the same building.
Yeah.
And coming up, I used to what we call, we was checking shit.
Yeah.
So I used to call him, Who can I turn to? You remember that old commercial? Be like, Who can I turn to?
Yeah.
With nobody. I used to ride him with that. I didn't know it had affected him in a bad way to where he had questions about his own father at that particular time. That he was fighting through that. And he was explaining it to us on one of the podcasts.
Yeah.
And over the years, we come from the hood, we do hood stuff and get in hood trouble over the years. And he ended up getting saved, right? And in order for him to interpret the Bible the way he would interpret it, he wrote out a poem. Say, for instance, you take a Bible verse and he wrote it out in a poem so he could understand it, because he couldn't understand the Bible. So we got with Tony Hilliard one podcast, and Wu had been telling us about this book that he had been looking for.
That he wrote
along those lines back in them days. And he said he was wanting to try to get it copyrighted, right?
Yeah.
But he needed the original book that he had. Man, how about we were sitting down and Tony was just talking, Wu was there with us. He said, man, Wu, you remember you wrote that poem, that book of poems back in the day? And he said, man, yeah, I've been looking for that. I've been asking God to show it to me. Mm-hmm. When Tony said he might have that book, that man just broke down. Tony had that book over 20-some years. So when we go to the reunion, right, Tony said, well, I'm going to see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find it. At the reunion, Tony brought that book to the reunion and gave it to him. Man, that man broke down in my arms, man. I'm talking about crying. Hard. And even in the process, he ended up giving $1,000 away to 4 people. Sean had ended up, on the strength of us, ended up decorating the place for her.
Yeah.
And she had medical issues, man. She worked through that reunion with her girls and her sisters to decorate the whole place with the balloons and all that kind of stuff. And Wu ended up blessing her and her sisters with $1,000. Gave each 4 of them $250 throughout their process, just a matter of just giving back. And we just had a whole bunch of those type of stories going on, and we didn't even before. It was just kind of off the cuff of just how it happened. So we in the parking lot, everybody hadn't seen each other in 30 and 40
years, man.
Man, we couldn't even clear out the parking lot. And I don't know if y'all know Kenny Jordan. He came out in like 86. So we were standing out in the parking lot with Reverend Quack. He followed up on Frank Rock.
Oh, Falk.
Reverend Falk.
Okay, yeah.
And he did a sermon. And we set him up to do a sermon. So one of the guys that was on house arrest could attend. We made it like a church service so he could talk to his PO to get to come to the reunion, right? And so we were in the parking lot. He was just walking around. He was like, man, I ain't seen y'all. And I don't really have friends now. Y'all kind of like my friend. And he was like, I can't leave. It's just something about it, I can't leave. And started to break down and kind of walk. I said, no, man, come on. We all got together, gave each other hugs, and got through all that kind of stuff. So
it was a beautiful thing.
Man, it was so powerful, man, that we couldn't. Man, you could even.
Because it was the first one.
It was the first one. Man, it was from our OGs there. I'm talking about old OGs.
Oh, yeah.
60, 65. We even brought the moms into it, to where we gave the moms gifts and got them to talk about their experience of raising us in the Crest.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And they got up and talked. Calvin Harris. He was the MC.
Well, nice
He was talking about how he used to have a crush on Mario Mama and stuff like that. Mario stayed behind his mama the whole time.
Oh, come on, man. It was a good thing, man. I enjoyed it.
He got a hell of a story.